There was never change, never direction or reason. The beginning of change was the beginning of the world. Creation was the first change.
Long, long ago, in the dim, uncertain past, back before there was past, present, or future, there was a meaningless chaos that brooded over it by a vast, unbroken shadow. There were only two forces in this world, darkness and death.
All existence was a bottomless depth where these two children ruled with unchallenged authority. There was nothing else in the whole universe. Therein, a marvel occurred that to this day surpassed all other marvels.
In some unknown, mysterious way, the black-winged darkness placed a wind-born egg in the bosom of death, and by some miracle, love sprang forth.
Love created light with it, its companion, radiant day. The next marvel was the creating of the earth, but this was easy between love and light. For creation is an act of love. The earth was created from this love. This is why, to this very day, the earth still struggles back to its parents, love and light.
The first creatures to walk on this earth were fierce and hideous monsters. Some, called cyclopses, were very tall and had one large eye. Others had enormous bodies and long tails that followed them for great distances. Some would someday call these dinosaurs, but we know they were creatures in a world before man, creatures waiting for a soul.
From the earth came the gods. Zeus, born from thunder and forever inhabited power over the mighty thunderbolt, was their king with his brothers and sisters. They fought a long, terrible war with the Titans, a new powerful king.
Using the powers of nature, the gods conquered the Titans, and from Mount Olympus ruled the world, undisputed lords of all. So, with the creatures gone from Earth, and order being managed by the gods, and love being managed by nature, the world was ready for a new race, mankind.
There was a good and worthy Titan named Prometheus who had sided with Zeus on the terrible war of the earth. Prometheus was a very wise creature. Some say he was even wiser than the gods themselves. His name means forethought, and it was decided on Mount Olympus that him and his brother would be tasked to create new living creatures obedient to the gods. Unfortunately, Prometheus' brother was not wise. His name was Epimetheus, which means afterthought. Epimetheus had the awkward habit of acting like an impulse and then later changing his mind. And that is exactly what happened when he was delegated to create new living creatures.
All right, quiet down and get in the line that way. You, I call bird. I give you wing. You will be able to fly. Check. And you, buddy, will be known as fish. You'll be able to move in the water. Check.
And they called her Pandora, meaning gift of all. Now, the gods also gave Pandora a beautifully engraved box, into which they each put something harmful. All the evils and misfortunes of the world were put inside that box, and, not telling her the contents, they forbade Pandora ever open it. Zeus then gave Pandora to Epimetheus to be his wife. Now, Epimetheus remembered his wise village words.
Beware of sleep-sparing gifts.
But he accepted the lovely Pandora from Zeus anyway and married her. Too soon would he realize how good his brother's lives had been. They were happy and lived for a long time without trouble, but Pandora was possessed with a lively curiosity and just had to know what was inside that box.
That mysterious box again. I guess I'll just dust the old thing again, whatever it is. Perhaps I should dust the inside. Now, it's bigger than a dry box. Oh, just one little tiny thing won't hurt. Just, oh gracious.
Out flew troubles, sorrows, miseries, disease, mischief, and misfortune for all of mankind. Pandora clamped down back to the wind, and it was too late. Evil was put on earth.
Come on, get back in there. Do me a little favor, sweetheart.
All was lost, except for one little blessing. One of the gods, in his wisdom, put a strange ingredient inside the box, in case Pandora should ever open it. This ingredient is called hope, and to this day, it remains mankind's sole comfort in times of misery. It is said that the evil quite overtook the world in those early days, so much so that Zeus had to destroy mankind. He called his brother, God of the Winds, and together they sent torrents of rain that flooded the earth and drowned the land for 9 days and nights. But then there appeared a black-winged great fox, floating to the surface, and in it were 2 human creatures, a man and a woman. Dogs that are on Mount Parnassus were lost in the Ottoson. And the 2 lonely creatures prayed to the gods, and Zeus, taking pity on them, let each stone of the temple fall and turn into a human being, sometimes called stone people, as they were hard and enduring rays that would withstand all troubles and fill the earth again. And they prayed to the sun, and, with its early morning warmth, mankind lived, thrived, and loved.
This is the story of Narcissus and Echo, 2 lovers with a communication. There once lived a beautiful lad named Narcissus, a striking figure of a man, even though he was the son of a river nymph. Now, his beauty was so great that all women worshipped him. Every girl that saw him longed to be his.
Hey, cutie. Romeo, oh Romeo.
Be my Valentine!
Oh, what a piece of
Touch
work,
me.
man. Now, this was difficult. Unfortunately, he would have none of them. He passed even the loveliest of creatures by, no matter how hard she tried to get him to look at her. Heartbroken maidens were nothing to him.
If I'm so beautiful, like they say, why should I waste myself on them?
And so he lived and expected to thrive. Meanwhile, there was a very lovely nymph named Echo who lived nearby. She was indeed a sad case. When she was very young, Hera, the jealous queen of gods, became very envious of Echo's striking beauty and put a curse on her. The gods condemned her never to use her tongue unless to repeat what was said to her. Poor Echo, she would always have the last word, but no power to speak the first. Echo, for the folks out there, say something.
Something, something, something.
That's it?
That's it, that's it, that's it.
Now this was difficult for Echo, especially when she, too, like all the others, fell in love with Narcissus. She could follow him, but she could not speak to him. How was she to make a man who never even looked at a girl pay attention to her? Well, one day, her chance seemed to arrive. It was the day of the great hunt for Thor, and Echo watched, hiding from behind a tree for her chance. Narcissus soon got separated hide in the caves and lonely, deep places where she wasted and faded away, except for her voice, repeating others' words. And so there she remains to this day, merely an echo. Now what happened to proud Narcissus? The cries and the prayers of the woman he had forsaken finally reached the ears of the gods, who decided they shall punish this cruel scorner of love. That he who loved not others loved himself too much, they agreed, and that is what happened. One day, Narcissus bent over a clear pool of water for a drink.
Ah! Oh, now I know what others have suffered for me, for I burn and suffer for myself. Oh.
The gods had arranged that he would fall in love with his own reflection and be as trapped as all others were. He tried to grasp the image.
How can I reach this beauty I see in the water? But I cannot leave it. Only death can set me free.
And so it appeared. He leaped endlessly over the water, fixing an everlasting look of longing.
Oh.
Echo was nearby, but she could do nothing, only repeat his dying words as a final goodbye to him.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Farewell. Farewell.
And the next day, when his friends came down to the water's edge, they saw only a flower with a golden center and white petals, and to this day, they call it a narcissus, for it was him indeed. The end.
Of all the stories of faithful and unfading love, few endure as that of King Ceyx and his queen Alcmene. Ceyx was the king of Thessaly and was a wise and gracious ruler, although he was very young when his father had left him the kingdom. His father was the light bearer, the star that brings him the day. His wife Alcmene was also of high descent. Her father being Aeolus, god of the wind. The king and queen made a devoted couple, filled with love for each other, and would never be willingly apart. Nevertheless, a time came when Ceyx felt he must journey across the sea in his dream his father had spoken to him.
My son, the world is wide and you have seen little of it. Travel to the distant oracle to find wisdom, or you will dry up without knowledge, like stone.
This dream I had, it was so strange. My father spoke to me. I have to do what he told me. I have to find the wisdom he speaks of.
And so he made plans to leave and started preparation. When Alcmene heard of this, she was filled with grief and fear.
My dear husband, think again before you embark on this quest. I know too well the dangers the seas put. Have too often seen the broken planks of ships cast ashore by the cruelty of the winds. Have too often heard of the mourning and sorrows of those destroyed by the loss of loved ones at sea. I feel bad omens. I know something terrible will befall if you leave on this journey. Please, I implore you not to go. For the sake of our happiness. Do you wish me to be like stone?
And Alcmene knew it must be. There was no changing him. She had loved him for his pride and determination. But now that determination would separate them.
If you must go, at least take me with you. I can endure what comes to us together.
But she knew it was futile. His love for her was too great to allow her to share the dangers of the journey. So she resigned herself. The preparations for the journey were made. She dreaded the day that they would have to part, for her grief told her that unhappiness would come of this quest.
I cannot say farewell to you, but I will not leave either. For I feel that someday we shall be close again. Someday I will be able to take your hand in mine, and all will be quiet and stillness once again. But until that day, my heart is pale.
And with these words, she watched as he left and waited on the shore for hours after the ship sailed out of sight. That very very night, a fierce storm came upon the seas and raised torrents of rain along with towering waves. The ships were tossed and battered about wildly, and terror filled all the crew except one. He rejoiced because ACMi was safe. Her name was on his lips as the ship sank and the water crossed over them all.
Okay.
ACMi was counting off the days, waiting for his return. She prayed daily to the gods for him, but it was in vain. Finally, her father, god of the winds, felt guilty that his winds had destroyed the one she had loved so much. He was greatly touched by her prayers for one long dead.
My poor child, I should comfort her and tell her the truth. But how could I tell her it was my wind that caused this grief? Yet, she must be told the truth. This hopeless wishing is even greater grief. I know. I'll have say executed her in a dream. A dream will tell her the truth. She'll know.
So Aeolus ventured into the home of Somnus, the god of sleep, to ask him to send a dream to ACMi and tell her the truth about Six. The land of sleep is the quietest of all places, and it lies in a silent valley where twilight reigns, and the gentle river of forgetfulness entices all to deep slumber. Within, on a couch of drowsy herbs, sleeps Somnus, the god of sleep.
Somnus, wake up.
What? What? Wake up? Never.
Somnus, do you hear me? I have a favor to ask.
Yes. Yes.
Wake up, I say.
Sure. Sure. Favor?
I need you to send a dream.
Dream. Dream. Yes. Dream.
A revealing dream. You must tell a certain woman that her husband is dead.
Dead? Oh. Dear.
Yes. You must have him appear in her dream and tell her. She must stop waiting for him.
Oh my. I should say so. Oh.
My daughter, ACMi.
Oh yes. Oh, right.
Thank you. Now I must go before I.
And Aeolus, his mission completed there, quickly left the house of sleep, fearful that he too might forever sink into eternal slumber.
I cannot say farewell to them like a brave man should. But I will not weep by them, for I feel that someday we will be close again. Someday I will be able to take your hand in mine, and all will be quiet and stillness once again. But until that day, my heart is chaos.
When ACMi awoke the next morning, she knew that her husband was truly dead. But she went down to the shore as always to watch for him. As she gazed out toward the water, she saw something floating. The tide was coming in and the thing floated closer and closer until she could see that it was his dead body. She ran into the waves to be with him, but then a wonder happened. Instead of sinking into the water, she was flying over it. She had wings. Her body was covered with feathers. She had been turned into a seabird today called the ACMi. In their kindness, the gods did the same to Six. As she flew to him, he was changed into a bird also. But their love was unchanged. They were always seen together flying over the water. Every
just like his father. It's in the blood.
So you could imagine Stonius' bitter disappointment when his wish didn't come through.
It's a tiny baby girl, sire.
A girl? Are you kidding me? A girl? To me? Impossible. The postulates.
See for yourself.
That isn't mine. I suspect foul play. I got the stuff of men. Dogs and snails and puppy dog tail.
Well, then where did all the sugar and spice and everything nice come from?
But Stonius still couldn't accept the fact that he had fathered a girl. He decided it was not worth bringing up a frail little baby girl, so he ordered it to be left on the mountaintop to die. Now don't get upset, folks. As we all know, when humans neglect their own, nature comes in and comes to the rescue. As it happened, a she-bear found the child and took it and nursed it and kept it warm until it grew up into a beautiful, healthy, and active girl. Some hunters found her, some two-kind hunters found her, and they named her Atalanta and taught her all they knew about hunting and wrestling and all the outdoor sports. She not only caught on quickly, but soon she was surpassing her teachers. In all feats she tried, she was superior.
You've learned well, Atalanta.
You are good enough to compete with any man.
Right on.
One day, word reached them that a great contest was being held in the city.
It says here, the King Sconius has invited the athletes from all over the country to compete in a field day of outdoor sports. The king?
Prizes will be given, and the winners will have an option to do a razor blade commercial.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'd sure like to give it a try.
So they set off for the city to take part in the game. Great crowds of people were there to watch the finest athletes from miles around. The king was also there with his token contestant.
Now keep it cool. This will be a breeze.
I'm scared. Those guys are big.
The bigger they are, the harder they'll fall.
Can't I go into the aluminum siding business like I want to?
Nonsense. You've got a big career in store for yourself.
Sure enough, the old king finally got his son by adopting a child left at the palace doorstep. But little did the Sconians know that the big competition that day would be his long-lost daughter.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first annual Athletic Games. I can only say how happy I am that so many of you turned out today and let the best man win.
Pardon, sire, but as a member of the newly liberated group of individuals striving for the rights of freedom and fair play, I demand you rephrase that last statement.
What?
She looks familiar.
She does. Have you ever been to Pittsburgh?
Let's get on with it, shall we?
Very well. Let the first event begin.
And so the afternoon's activities began. The competition was rigid, but in every category, Atalanta matched herself with the male athletes. Her quick, agile body shone brightly as she displayed her skill in all the exercises. All the people marveled at the strange girl who came from the forest with such strength. Surely she must be a goddess. She won every race, defeated every opponent, and collected every prize.
And by the power vested in me as the king of this land, I hereby declare today's all-round winner to be, what's your name, sweetie?
Atalanta.
Atalanta!
I tried, Pop.
Oh, boy. Why couldn't you be her, or she be you, or
Atalanta. Sire, don't you remember the oracle?
Oracle? What oracle?
The oracle that said a stranger would come called Atalanta, and she would turn out to be your long-lost daughter.
Impossible. I had that kid just live in the woods.
But I was reared by a she-bear in the woods.
I knew she was familiar. She looks like you, the princess.
Father?
Daughter? Well, it's good as any son, after all. Son, say hello to your sister.
Hey, sis.
Hi, Shorty.
And so a family was brought together again. But that is hardly the end of Atalanta's story. Had she not been so beautiful and athletic, and so admired by all those young men that day, her life might have been quite ordinary from then on. But when she won all the prizes that day, she also won the heart of every male in the city.
What are they looking at?
You.
Nothing in the forest ever looked at me with eyes like that.
These are animals of a different breed.
So the king, seeing how sought after his daughter was, decided that it was time for Atalanta to marry.
Choose any man you wish. I want you to be happy.
But I am happy now. I
way to obey the king and still not have to marry any man.
She thought and thought until she finally came up with a solution. The next day, a proclamation was made.
Hear ye, on this lovely spring day in May, it is proclaimed that any man wishing to marry the Princess Atalanta must challenge her to a foot race. If he wins, he may have her hand, but if he loses, he must be put to death.
So Atalanta was safe. She knew there was no man on earth who could outrun her. Still, many tried, and many died. Several handsome men challenged her in hopes of possessing that beauty, but all in vain. It often hurt Atalanta to see such good men destroy their attempts, but she would not consider marriage with any of them unless it was with her. Word soon traveled far and wide of the famous beauty who was harder to reach than the stars. There was one man, however, who was different. His name was Melania.
How could those idiots sacrifice their lives for one female? They must be insane. No one is worth that risk.
Of course, Melania had never set eyes on the beautiful Atalanta, so it was easy for him to speak those words. But one day, he did see a lovely figure far off, and she saw him and...
Excuse me, miss, but
Yes.
I think I love you.
Yes!
Why, I'm sure of it. I love you.
Now, love was something that Atalanta never came across before. Suddenly, she realized how such a passion could drive one to do things that were beyond reason, beyond risk.
I love you also. I know it.
I'll do anything to be with you. Undergo anything at all, just to be with you. What's your name?
Atalanta.
The Atalanta?
Unfortunately, yes.
I will race you. I will win. We will be together.
Oh, how grieved Atalanta was. She loved him, and he would undoubtedly have to die like all the others. She thought of throwing the race in his favor, but the whole nation knew her speed records down to the quarter second. She could only hope and pray that the wonderful youth could outrun her. Melania, on the other hand, knew he was not as good a runner as she, so he decided to use his head instead of his heels. He went to the goddess of love, lovely Venus, and explained the situation.
You're out of shape. Is that it? You've outrun the fastest runners in the land.
Have you been in training?
I cannot possibly beat her by normal means.
Maybe a new pair of sneakers?
I love her.
You said the magic word. Here, take these 3 golden apples. They have a special charm.
No one can resist that.
Use them to win the race.
And so he planned to. The day of the race came, and Atalanta was more nervous than ever before in her life. Melania kept the golden apples hidden under his cloak until the correct moment.
In this corner, the champion, the princess, Atalanta. The contender, Melania, the tender one. Start to do 2 laps. On your mark, get set.
Bang! And they were off. Melania used all her strength out once trying to keep up with him, but he was tired fast and she was hardly exerting herself. Then he knew it was the moment. He tossed one of the golden apples down alongside her, and she stopped for it, unable to resist. But when she had it, she immediately started running again. When she caught up with him again, Melania tossed the second golden apple. Again she went for it, but again she was up and off before he knew it. The finish line was in sight, and Melania had only one golden apple left. He waited until the final moment, and then tossed it. And so all ended happily. It was the end of Atalanta's athletic laurels and the beginning of a life of wedded bliss. Of course, she did still run, but now she wasn't alone.
Man has always wanted to fly. Ever since Epimetheus gave the gift of wings to the birds and not to humans. But man's ingenuity over the years has proved almost as effective as
doing, Dad? Is there any way we can get out of here?
The sea blocks the sun on all sides. This is an island. But the sky is freezing.
The sky? Dad, have you been in the sun too long?
This made Darius think.
Observe those birds. They are no one's business. They are free because they are wings. If only we could fly.
A wish uttered by many birds. But Daedalus was much more clever than this. From then on, he studied the birds carefully and noted exactly how their wings worked. Then, late at night, when the guards were asleep, he began to work on the invention that would set them free. He collected feathers during the day, then at night fastened them on frames of wood with melted wax. He worked slowly and carefully each evening. After many months, they were finally complete.
Tomorrow, my son, we bust out of here. King or no king.
How, Dad? By tunneling through the Mediterranean Sea?
No.
Oh, I get it. We disguise ourselves as dirty shirts and escape in the laundry truck in the morning.
Have you been in the sun too long?
Face it, Dad. The king is evil. We'll be stuck here to the next election.
Tomorrow, at the first light of day, we fly out of here.
Sure, Dad. You better rest.
The night seemed endless for Daedalus as he waited for the dawn of the sun. But finally the moment he had planned for months was about to come.
Wake up, son! It's flight time!
Hey, you were kidding. Those are wings. Will they work?
Of course, they're blueprints based on Mother Nature.
Oh, copyright, huh? How do they work?
Just put your arms like so, and just fly like a bird.
Out of sight. Let's go.
Wait a second, son. Before we go, there's one thing you must remember.
No smoking until they say so.
You must be careful not to fly too near the sun. It's heat will melt the wax and
Let's
feathers.
go, man.
Do you hear me? Now stick close to me at all times. Ready?
Ready.
Contact?
Contact.
Fly!
Up and away.
Daedalus' many months of preparation had paid off. The wings worked beautifully and smoothly as those of the birds of the air. They flew over the prison wall and across the seashore before anyone could stop them. As they glided over the sea, many birds joined them in puzzlement and wonder. The man was actually flying.
Out of sight.
Icarus was so overcome by the experience of flying that he forgot his father's words of advice to people, and he ventured out on his own, doing tricks and stunts in the air. Son, come back here, come! But Icarus was having too much fun, and was so much higher that he didn't hear his father's final warning. He was so far up, in fact, that he began to feel bored.
Boy, that sun sure is hot today.
Completely forgetting about the wax that was holding the feathers over the wings, Icarus flew higher and higher until
Hey, what was that? A feather? Hey, feathers, come back.
But it was too late. The wax drifted away, and one by one the feathers floated off, leaving Icarus plunging down to the sea below.
Out of sight.
His father could do nothing but watch his son disappear and continue on to his homework until the daylight left. When he arrived, Daedalus was too grieved to celebrate his own freedom. All he could think about was his foolish son and his foolish death in the water. To this day, it's called the Icarian Sea and serves as a reminder of the deadly side effects of modern technology.
Often, we lament the fate of a certain Miss Muffin who has an unfortunate experience with spiders. But seldom do we hear of another young man whose experience with many-legged insects is much more intimate. In the region of Lydia, there lived a maiden named Graphic, whose skill was spinning and weaving. And such a skill it was. Her name was known all throughout Lydia for the beautiful handwork she did. It was even rumored that she was taught to sew by Athena herself, the patroness of the weavers.
Taught? Nothing. I can spin circles around Athena anything. My skills are unlimited.
Well, such a boast does not go unheard, especially on mass work. The goddess Athena was not about to put down her by any mere mortal.
Like that little fiddlehead? Who does she think she is? Her needlework has the art of oily rags. Her weaving, the delicacy of lawn furniture. And her spinning, the finesse of Boy Scout knots. I'd better put her in her place.
And so she intended. Athena turned herself into A stranger, huh? Well, take my word for it, when it comes to the almighty needle and thread, I'm the best. What of the goddess Athena? Is she not queen of weaving and patroness of her craft? Her? You gotta be kidding me. That old guy couldn't put a tennis racket. I hear she's as far-sighted as a grasshopper, and her hands shake so the needle keeps dizzy. Somebody outside her touch herself. Careful, it's not wise to try and buy the gods. No, I don't boast. I'm simply better than the old girl, and if she were in this room this very minute, I'd tell her so. Well, that was all the goddess needed to hear. She immediately removed herself from her. Well, I'll be announcing, Mama. Such attention could not help. So the goddess proposed a contest to see who spun the finest fabric and wove the loveliest designs. Arachne was confident in her art and readily accepted. See! Word spread throughout Lydia, and great crowds of people turned to this mortal girl who dared to be the star. Popcorn, peanuts, tutti frutti. Program. Get your programs here. Read about the stars. Each contestant set up her loom and went to it. Their fingers moved like lightning as they spun and wove beautiful fabrics covered like the rainbow. Gold and silver thread ran through their skilled hands, and heaps of material fell to the ground in purple and lavender and crimson. Soon each was finished, and the people who had gazed upon the handiwork were amazed at how even more beautiful it was than they had expected. The goddess Athena's tapestry shone like the sun. It portrayed the Olympian gods in all their splendor and majesty. It was truly a marvel to look at. But even more stupendous was Arachne's tapestry. In color from every shade on the globe, it portrayed the scandalous love affairs between the gods and goddesses and scenes from their anger and wrath. Wow! It was obvious who had won, but the goddess Athena would have nothing of it. She decided she would teach this Arachne a lesson once and for all.
Well, my little Arachne, you spin a truly nice needle, but your vanity has done you in. From now on, I condemn you to be the finest of spinners and weavers. No one on earth shall be your rival. The skill of spinning shall be yours alone.
Not much of a curse. Wait. When the people actually looked again, they saw that Arachne had been turned into a spider. Arachne spins and weaves to this day, and her handiwork is as common as an insect itself. Perhaps she is content. She is no rival.
We have seen how creation came about because love was born. And we've seen many lovers and love stories. But imagine the result if the god of love should fall in love himself. That is the theme of our final story this evening, Cupid and Psyche. There was once a king with 3 daughters, all lovely maidens, but the youngest excelled her sisters so greatly that beside them she seemed a very goddess consorted in proportions. This exceptional beauty was called Psyche. The fame of her surpassing beauty spread over the earth, and men journeyed from all lands to gaze at her in wonder and to view her moment as though she were, in truth, one of immortal.
Surely Venus herself could not match this beauty, so strange that the loveliest creature in all the universe is mortal.
As we have seen, the gods on Mount Olympus don't stand for mortals with competitive qualities, and the goddess of love raged with hate and envy as she looked down upon the ravishing beauty.
So she's the new idol, is she? They would rather worship her than me, would they? She is but a mere girl destined someday to die, but I am a goddess. Well, I'll fix you.
But she needed help to do this, so she called forth her son, the god of love who was named Cupid. Now you may picture Cupid as he is portrayed on Valentine's cards, short and dumpy, wearing a diaper and wings. But in truth, Cupid was a tall, handsome youth who was marvelous to behold. No man could match him in masculine beauty. It was this fine, majestic figure that Messiah recognized.
Son, do you love your mother?
What a silly question. I am the god of love. Do you like to see your mother scorned and neglected? Of course not. Who do that to you? Some little brat with a pretty face. She's cornering the market. She's a bad influence and a threat to the Olympian way of
black love was in love. He knew that he could never place his mother's curse on fair Psyche. He knew that he could not allow her to fall in love with anything in the universe except himself. He wanted Psyche for his own way.
My mother would never understand. I'll save this baby for myself. Somehow.
So he went back to Mount Olympus and lied to his mother, telling her that all was done according to plan and that the result was here soon. So Venus watched eagerly, but Psyche fell in love with no monster. She fell in love with nothing. And stranger still, no one fell in love with her.
You're beautiful, and
Say it.
I must get going. By the way, is your sister free tonight?
Men were content to look and wonder and worship, and then pass on to someone else to marry her. It was Cupid's way of temporarily holding the girl. Both of her sisters, inexpressibly inferior to her, were splendidly married. But poor Psyche, the all-beautiful, sat sad and solitary, only admired, never loved. It seemed no man wanted her.
Oh, Father, what am I to do? I don't understand it at all.
You shall consult the oracle and see what he says.
Now Cupid had already made arrangements with Apollo for his plan, and the cunning god gladly obeyed them.
Oh, mighty oracle of Apollo, please explain why my beautiful daughter is so unwanted. It must be beyond mortal knowledge, for I cannot understand it at all.
Your daughter is cursed. She is doomed never to marry a mortal man. Her groom will be a fearful winged serpent, stronger than the gods themselves. Such is fate. Now you dress her in the blackest of funeral robes, and set her, all alone, on top of the rocky hill with her husband to come and carry her away.
Such terrible words the king could hardly believe, but he knew the oracle to be always correct. So, deep in mourning, Psyche's family dressed her as if for her funeral, and took her to the hill as if for her tomb.
Do not weep now, my dear family. It were better that you wept when I was born. For I see now that no one can be happy who should be cursed with God like you. Farewell.
Psyche sat alone on the high hilltop in the darkness, awaiting the terror that was waiting to arrive. Presently, there came a soft breath of air. It was the gentle breathing of the zephyr, the sweetest and mildest of winds. As it circled around her, Psyche felt herself gently lifted up and carried through the air. Soon she seemed to float down, and what she beheld was a wondrous sight. A palace with pillars of gold and walls of silver stood in a flowery meadow. All was quiet and peaceful. Psyche drew near, awestruck at the sight of such splendor. Then she heard voices.
Don't be afraid.
We are your servants. Enter your new hall. We are ready to do whatever you desire.
The voices prepared a fragrant-smelling bath for her and served her a delicious meal which she enjoyed more than any other. But Psyche was still troubled.
What of my husband?
We will join you soon.
When?
When the sun is down, we will only come when darkness is here.
And sure enough, that night, Psyche heard a deeper voice beside her in the dark.
Psyche, my wife, I am here.
All her fears left her. She knew without ever seeing him that this was no monster or hideous terror, but the husband she had longed and waited for. How long would such a happy companionship content Psyche? She loved her unseen husband very much and was happy spending her days alone, waiting for the sun to set for her spouse to return. But one night, he spoke to her very gravely as he had never done before.
I see danger on the horizon. You must be careful. You must not heed your sister's envious advice, or we both shall be sorry.
On the next day, just as he had said, Psyche spotted her two sisters off in the distance. She missed her family in sorrow and greeted them with tears. She then invited them into the palace and told them of the mysterious husband who came to her only at night.
This is someplace I must say.
You mean you've never even seen him?
Never.
And I must never try to. Doesn't that seem a bit suspicious to you?
What do you mean? Well, what reason could he have for hiding the
luscious palace in Psyche's happiness, and they had always wanted to secretly avenge her because of Psyche's superior beauty. So they advised her like so.
Tonight was very late when he was falling asleep. It was like oil in the kitchen. We must have a sharp knife ready to kill him. The monster will devour me first if we do not act quickly. Why can things remain as they are now? I am more than content. You're content with the summer too ugly to light of day. Destroy him before he tries to crush you like a used flower.
And with that, the two sisters went off content in the misery that now surrounded them.
What if they're right? But, oh, I love him, and they said never to try and see him, yet what could he be hiding? What shall I do? Kill him? No. In either case, I'll take the ring tonight and at least look at him.
And so she was resolved. Very late that night, as her husband slept soundly beside her, Psyche summoned all of her courage and mixed the oil.
Oh, the relief! He's beautiful!
There slept the sweetest and fairest creature she had ever seen. She was filled with rapture.
I could use this knife on myself and I would trust you. Your beautiful husband?
But as she fell to her knees, with trembling hands betrayed her, and some hot oil dripped from the lamp upon his shoulder.
Ouch!
Oh, you unfaithful wretch! You didn't believe me. You had to see for yourself. Well, now you know the truth. I am the god of love. But love cannot live where there is no trust.
The god of love! He was my husband, and I, stupid girl that I am, could not keep faith in him. Come back! I will do anything to be worthy of you again.
But he was eons away, nursing his wound and unable to hear her words.
I must find him. If it takes the rest of my life, I must find him and tell him that I'm sorry. He must know that I love him.
Poor Psyche. She searched all over the earth. She wandered all over the globe in vain, for Cupid was in his mother's palace recuperating from the burns love of her baby. Finally, Psyche decided she must go to the goddess Venus herself and ask if she could find her son.
Well, look who's here. You're not so beautiful now, are you? From all your travels, looking for a husband since you seem to have lost your first one. I love him.
You ungrateful rat!
Prove yourself worthy to be wife to my son. And who asked? I wish only to see him again. Well, I have a few minor tasks for you to accomplish first to prove yourself.
The goddess took a bushel of poppy seeds, and then a bushel of wheat seeds, and then sesame seeds, and mixed them all together in one great heap.
By nightfall, these must all be sorted back into their original bushels again. See to it for your own sake. But that's...
Psyche looked down at the seeds mixed together. It was humanly impossible to sort them all in the few hours she had. Her mind was in a haze. It looked as though she would never see her beloved Cupid again. But suddenly, from all directions, came scores of ants.
The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one. The little one stops and stops with his tongue. They all go marching down to the ground to get out of the rain.
Nature, once again, had heard a mortal's desperate cry and come to the rescue. Thousands of little creatures had the seeds sorted in no time at all.
So you pulled the fast one, huh? Well, that was just the PA suite. Down by the riverbank where the brushes grow thick are the deadly sheep of the gods with golden wool. Go fetch me some of the shiny wool for me to make golden thread with.
Now everyone knew how dangerous these sheep were. No man had ever survived their poisonous bite. But Psyche went down to the river all the same.
They will kill me for sure, and I shall never see fair Cupid again. Oh, that I was never
very next day, she was able to carry back to her cruel mistress a great armful of the golden wool.
You really think you're something, don't you? Well, this last task will make your head spin to say the least. Here, take this box down to the underworld and ask Goddess Persephone to fill it with some beauty. I've been looking a bit haggard lately, thinking of these little chores for you.
This was undoubtedly the worst task of all. Only a few mortals had ever gone into the land of the dead and lived to tell about it. But Psyche so loved her mortal husband that she started down the road that was said to lead to the underworld. Finally, she came upon the river Styx, the treacherous black river that divided life from death, and she saw the enduring ferryman, Charon.
Oh, noble Charon, I must cross over to the land of the dead and ask Persephone to fill this box with beauty. Will you take me across the river?
Not on a bet. You should be dead across this river.
Here's a penny.
Step right in, little lady. Watch your head.
So Psyche crossed the deep and terrible river into the underworld, where all dead souls go forever in early darkness.
This is the stop. Everybody out.
My, how haunted this place is. If I return all right, will you take me back across the river again?
If you should return, but that'll be a long shot.
Oh, please?
Well, for another penny. Good luck, little lady.
Now Psyche's next problem was Cerberus, the three-headed dog that guarded the gates of Persephone's palace.
Can't you read signs? Beware of dogs. Please let me by. I'm not a mailman or anything. I was only to see the goddess Persephone.
Ruff, ruff.
Here, fetch.
Psyche tells Cerberus was filled with sleeping children, so that he immediately was subdued and she was able to pass on her.
Nice dog.
So finally, she stood before Persephone, the wife of the god of the dead.
Doesn't need more beauty now, does she? I swear, I don't know what she does with it all. Very well, it's done. The box is now filled with beauty. Take this to the bottom.
Thank you so much.
Now Psyche was worn and drawn from the travels, and she was sure she could use rid of the beauty in this box because she was soon to see Cupid again. The temptation was too great for her. She had to open it.
Who are you? Sleep. But beauty's supposed to be in that box.
It is. Haven't you ever heard of beauty sleep? That's me. The best way to keep you beautiful. Sleep.
At these words, Psyche fell into deep slumber and would probably have slept forever in the land of the dead had not he could finally discover her there and put morning into her eyes.
Oh, my husband, do you forgive me?
You've more than proved yourself. Nothing will ever separate us again.
What of your mother?
Even she will love you now. You see, I've had it arranged with Zeus. You are to be made immortal. You are to be a goddess yourself.
A goddess? I never dreamed so much. Oh, my husband.
And so all the gods on Mount Olympus gathered together. And so Cupid and Psyche were formally married, and Zeus offered her the cup of ambrosia to drink from, making her immortal. After many trials, love and soul had found each other. So all came to a happy end, and to this very day, Psyche has come to me in love and soul. With this final story, we leave the land of mythology and offer his parting thought.
Change is coming, change is going, but no cause for grief or woe. Now I see that all these changes started changing long ago.
the changes in your life into the very best. Good evening.
Our guests, I would like to welcome our 8th grade directors. Come out here. Our 8th grade directors by giving
I am here to present a watermelon for Finn. It's our tradition. Don't think too hard about it. You've been a great director, and I know you haven't been involved a whole lot in the drama club before. And that's your first time, you did such an incredible job, and you kept morale together, and you're just amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah,
About Gabe. You've been helping us so much, and I was so happy to see that you were our director for this cast. And just thank you so much. You're such a positive spirit, and just so amazing.
My directors, you are just the most amazing and kindest person I've ever met in my entire life. Thank you so much.
Lucky, my director is Sabrina, and I was so lucky to have her. She was very organized and helped us do some awkward scenes.
Else, and I have the privilege of Nadia being my director. Whenever it was, she put so much effort into the show, keeping us engaged, and focused, and just for scheduling around her busy lives. Thank you so much for all of that.
I'm Maddie, and my wonderful, amazing, spectacular director is brilliant. And they have done a stupendous job of directing this scene. And I am so proud of you and all the work that you've put into this. Thank you so much. You're an amazing director, an amazing friend, and I couldn't be more honored to be here. Once again, thank you so much to Miss Zachary, who has also put so much effort into this.